So I'm not wearing my glasses. Oh, not an idiot today. It's the sun shining. I got no, I'm not supposed to look at. Let's make this a little less awkward, shall we? Okay, here's his eyes, his mouth. I'm trying to not touch my boobs or reveal them, but that's not working too well. You answered that question. Would you rather be a vampire or a wizard? I don't know. Can't choose. I gotta have the best of both worlds. I have to say, I want to be a vampire that's a wizard or a wizard that's a vampire. I can't choose between the two. Yeah. So like, I was getting my car later after work, and the spider like flew. I'm not kidding. It didn't just like my up side of my car. It was like to my rearview mirror. I mean my side mirror. That's like a rearview mirror because I can see your rear, but not like the real rear. Like if you're like going like this, like on the side, you know, like because it's called a side mirror. You're like, oh, I can see it on the side of my ass. That's probably why they call it that. Anyway, it was like chilling there. It was maybe like that big. It was just chilling there, and like I was driving, so it was like wind going against it, and this guy was so brave. He stayed on for a good 5 minutes, and then he just kind of. I think upon impact he either died, or died a really slow, painful death, or he didn't die. One of those three. It's sunny outside. Hello, Wisconsin. I was thinking about doing that accent thing, but I'm not sure. They forgot that one word. What word is that? Southern. I don't know if you say Southern like me. Southern. Some people say Southern. I don't really know. I probably have the same accent as you because we come from the same place. Represent Wisconsin. Let's see. Let's try to do the. I don't know if it's backwards or not. I'll do it both. That's an I. That's a lowercase. That's an uppercase I or a lowercase L. Sometimes when I get lazy, I use uppercase I's as my L's and vice versa. So instead of typing capital I type L if it looks the same. Because if it's like this, you know, like L. Again, in case it's backwards, I'll do it both ways. Right, I found this picture. I was bored at work, and I thought it was pretty great. And then I had this other one where it had all these grapes on it. Here it is. And like, hey, webcam, stop freezing. Okay, come back up. It's like I was gonna go on to paint or something and put like a text and be like, hey, why so sour? Because there's mean angry faces and then there's like happy faces down here. I need to get postage for your package. I'm not sure if it's under 12 pounds or not, and I was gonna like add a few more things, but I keep saying I want to have this and this and this and this and this. It's not all gonna fit. And this, like, I put it in a manila envelope, and I'm like, shoot, I gotta choose this stuff carefully. So I think I'm gonna make you a mix CD. That's gonna be so hard. It's gonna take me like a week in itself because I have to like strategically pick music for you because there's only certain awesome music that you should have to listen to for my collection. Because I know some of the music I listen to is pretty absurd. I'll probably put some Coco Rosie in there because I know you like those guys. I apologize if I'm yelling because I recognized last time you could really not hear me at all. I'm staring at myself. I'm very egoistical, like in a mirror. I'd be staring at the webcam, but it's kind of creepy. Here, I'll stare at it for a while, like I'm actually talking to you. Oh, sorry. I chickened out. It's my set. It's my world is ending phase. This is going on YouTube. I could probably make it private. Oh, computer almost won screensaver. I noticed on Tumblr you had that posted, one honest thing you would like to hear from someone. An honest opinion. Okay. Usually when I like think of honesty, sometimes I think of bluntness and like not so much as bad things, but things that maybe you don't want to hear. But then on the same note, I always think of honesty as something that's pure and raw, and people really mean and come from the heart. So I think I'll rant on about honest stuff about you that I personally feel. Okay, number one, you're awesome. I was like, make a list. Let's see. I can talk to you about anything, or I feel I can anyway, and that's really rare for me. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about you. Okay. You're just easy to talk to, and sorry, this isn't like difficult for me to find stuff that's awesome about you. It's just difficult to word it, because I already have all these things in my head. It's just I don't know how to put into words. Okay, let's see. Honestly, you're so awesome and amazing that I don't think I could find words to describe you other than that. And I know they're very generalized words with very generalized expressions, but I would have to say you, of all people that I've ever met, well, you know what I mean, that have ever come into my life, you're probably one of the people that have touched me the most in the least amount of time. Since I started talking to you, I started to finally listen to the advice of people saying you need to take time for yourself, you need to look out for yourself more. And I finally understood what that means, and I'm feeling more wholesome for it, and I really want to thank you for that. And I can't express to you how thankful I am for you having to come into my life, and I can't express to you how much that means to me. Man, I don't even know. Like, you're so awesome. You're very important too. You're very I don't know. I think you've touched a lot of people in the best of ways, and I hope you recognize that and you realize this. And the days that you feel the worst, I hope you can look at that at maybe not like everyone that you've ever touched, everyone that's either told you or hasn't told you. I just hope you can look at that and know that it's enough to be able to get up again and be like, hey, today's a new day. I hope I can touch myself in a way that I can, get up and be happy with myself today, and to elaborate on, like, I think you asked earlier, some advice on how to per se, I don't know, not be happier, but to change the pattern of this. We sometimes get in roots where we get into these, phases where we're not feeling so hot or sleeping too much or not enough. And honestly, to say, the way I get out of that, just me personally, I usually write everything down that I do in the day, even from like the smallest thing to the little bathroom. I mean, what time I wake up, what time I went to bed, how many hours I slept, if it's deep sleep, if it's light sleep, how I'm feeling, how I'm looking at the world, how I'm looking at things, any thoughts. Basically, just writing your thoughts out, that part. I'm sure you have down, but then just going out about your regular day, and then the next day reading what you put yesterday and being like, okay, I did all this stuff and I still feel the same way that I did before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something new today. It could be anything. It could be doing something you love, something you've never done before. I'm not talking about like extravagant things. I'm talking about small things. I'm talking baby steps. Like each day you alter your day until you find a day that you really like, that you feel happier, that you feel more wholesome, that you don't feel so tired, And it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of alteration. I've done this so many times with myself. I do this every day still. And I don't know. I guess me personally, I use tomorrow as an excuse, and I say, "Oh, I'll do that tomorrow," or I'll put that off tomorrow. Oh, there's always tomorrow to do those things. Sometimes there's not, you know. Sometimes you have to be like, okay, I want to do this tomorrow, but right now I think I should do it. I'm gonna force myself to do this. Sometimes you have to force yourself to do things, and motivation is a key factor. Just keep motivated. And my motivation, I don't know where I get mine from. It just kind of, it's like a rock. And when I feel like I don't want to do anything, I just go and do it. I make myself do it, and then I feel 10 times better. I don't know if that helped at all. Let's see. I could probably like make a list for you. Each day I'll wake up and write something I think that's really good, that motivates me. I'll go ahead and start doing that when I go to bed tonight. I'll actually just write when I think anything good, you know, anything good at all. Or maybe you could do that too, like if you think of something really awesome makes you smile, and maybe something that you know, if you look upon it later on, it'll just make you smile and laugh, or something like our obscene conversations, or the way the sky looks. Like sometimes I'll be sitting outside and I'll write down in my journal or draw a little doodle, and for like a key thing to make me memorize how this moment is making me feel, how I feel in this moment, how great I feel, how terrible I feel. And I use the 5 senses. Like I write what I'm smelling, what I'm feeling, what I see, what I hear, what I taste, what I'm touching, you know. And it makes me burn these things in my mind. And I do it on bad days and good days, and mostly on good days. If I read back on the really good days, I can smile at that and hope for another day like that, and hope that later today is that, and then I'm like, hey, I still have the rest of the day, you know. I can make it something I really like. Like right now I could be feeling like shit, but I can change this, you know. I mean, we have the ultimate power in our lives. We're driving this big ship, and sometimes we feel like we lose control because we do let go of the giant steering wheel of life. That wasn't supposed to be funny, but I was watching myself do this. Okay, and like you let go and it starts to spin out of control, and a storm comes and you crash and you get scarred and all that good stuff. But then you see the sun come out, or you don't. It could be weeks before the sun comes out, but then it finally does, and you're like, hey, this was worth it. I guess you just have to find things that make you say that. You just have to find stuff that makes you feel alive, you know? Even if it's for a slight moment. And I think that's what it is. It's all about the small moments. It's not about like the big thing, the big image that we have going on. It's about the small things that make the big image. Like you've seen those giant murals made of smaller photographs. It's kind of like that, you know. Without those smaller photographs making that big image, you wouldn't have the image at all. You just have a giant mass of a blob, or whatever you want to see it as, you know. Yeah, sometimes life is like that. It's very abstract, and it's not certainly a specific thing, but it's made up of small things, and whatever you see it as is what it is. Whether you say you can, you can't, you're right, you know. Probably heard this a million times, and I'm sorry if I sound repetitive. I really am, but I give myself this peppy talk speech whenever I'm feeling really crappy, and then I feel so much better. Like I don't know. Like I felt really crappy earlier today, and I started talking to someone, and we were just ranting about stuff. Nothing in particular, about the Matrix and like war and all this other weird stuff that we just started talking about, and I felt better. So, I'll probably make a part 2 that's not so, like, serious, and it's, like, my randomness, but I think you should watch this one first. Like I said, I hope it helps some small manner or big manner or something. I hope it helps. Here, I'll look at you when I'm saying this. I hope it helps. It gets better. It does.